Hey everybody, we have unlocked the purple gem, and I think it's time to show off the true nature of its power. What exactly can this thing do in the broken confines of Sonic 06? The answer is it can do a hell of a lot, because they haven't done anything to stop you from just breaking the game completely with it. Of course, breaking the game with the purple gem does come with its own consequences, as you'll see.
Silver, we don't have time. Let's get to Elise right away.
So, here we go. If you haven't seen the level, well, we're not supposed to go this way. Well, I guess eventually we're supposed to go this way, but you know what I mean. People like to throw around the term N64 or PlayStation 1 quality textures or graphics, but as we're going to see in a minute, I think some of these textures may have actually come from the Nintendo 64. I mean, look at this. Also, are you wondering if you can go through this? Yeah, you can go through it, but I wouldn't recommend it. So, instant death zone. Let's do that again. Let's do that again, but not test out the instant death zone. Because I honestly was wondering if I could go through that mountain. I was kind of hoping I could just keep hopping through the mountain, but apparently not. That's okay. Let's just kind of go a little bit closer to the beaten path. But let's at least take a look at that quality N64 texture. That beautiful bush. I mean, look at it. Or maybe it's a tree? Or, well, I guess a lot of trees? It's either one hell of a bush or several trees. It's kind of hard to tell. Anyway, it looks terrible, as does this mountain, as do the trees or bushes on top of the other mountain. And, yeah. So, you know, the purple gem, if you missed the last video, it gives us the scale ability. When holding R1, Sonic shrinks in size, and he loses his homing attack, and gains an infinite double jump. In theory, I should just say infinite jump, but that doesn't really mean anything, but I think everyone knows what a double jump is, right? And if I just have an infinite double jump, yeah, there we go. That makes sense. So, I imagine that I can just continue with the double jump until the trigger to the next section, but it's more fun to get on the eagle, because look at that. I mean, look at that. Why would you want me to just continue double jumping to infinity to go through some trigger when you can see tiny Sonic being carried by an eagle? Exactly. Now, if you remember, in this next section, Silver's going to try to help us out. And if you also remember, it's very easy to just run around Silver. So you're probably wondering, can we just purple jump around him? And the answer is yes. It's not quite as easy as you'd think, because there is an invisible wall here, but there's also a way through the invisible wall. It's a little bit higher up, and through these pillars. Just got to gain some height, go a little bit to the left, now just squeeze through, and we're through. Just keep double jumping. You might be tempted to land and pick up some speed on the platform below you, but no, you want to just keep double jumping because you want to get as much height as possible so that you can get over this parapet right here. You want to get over it because the loading zone for the next section is right over here. Just over this wall. There we go. Isn't this an amazing level? Aren't you glad I'm doing this? I hope you're not. I don't understand why anyone would want to watch a tiny hedgehog repeatedly bouncing through the air. But maybe some people do. Maybe you're that person. If so, we should be friends. Just send me an email. Tell me all about yourself. You know, let me know what your kick is. Kick? K-I-K? However that's pronounced. I don't know. I don't actually have one. Maybe we'll Snapchat instead. Anyway, some more quality texturing on this wall. In fact, it's probably worse than anything we saw in the first section. You'll see why when we get a little closer. The bush tree, whatever, moss, maybe it's giant moss. That actually looks a little better than the bush tree, whatever, from the first section, but look at these rocks. I mean, look at that. That's the Vaseline smeared rock textures that you'd see on the N64. If only we had some fog. Anyway, this is the way you purple jump through here. God, look at that. On the left a second ago, that's just awful. In theory, you're supposed to bounce and jump and then hit some dash pads through this little valley. I mean, we're in a valley. This is more of, I guess, a chasm. Anyway, instead, we're just gonna bounce. We're gonna bounce all the way over. Just keep going, because you know we can do this, and because we can do this, that means we should do this. In some ways, the double jump is much faster than playing the level normally. In other ways, well, it's much slower, because if we had landed and gone through this section with all the scripted actions that Sonic is supposed to take on, well, you know, we'd be a little bit quicker. But hey, we wouldn't be bouncing. We wouldn't be playing the game the way the game doesn't want us to play it. I mean, we're freedom fighters. We are... Here we go. We'll run a little bit. Running's fast. We just want to make sure we don't run too much, or the game might force us to fight some enemies, and if we're tiny, we don't have a homing attack.
Gotta be careful not to fall off here.
Well, Sonic, don't worry. We won't. We won't. Yep. We're still going. Luckily, those weapons don't hit us. Luckily, we don't land on anything, because if you land off something and then run off of it, your double jump won't work because it's just replacing the homing attack. And yeah, if you fall off something without jumping, your homing attack isn't going to save you. Yep. Right now, we could be airboarding or grinding or whatever on wind, and that would also be faster than what we're doing, but we're not interested in speed. We're interested in bouncing. Yep. So check out this quality frame rate. Fortunately, we are out of bouncing. So if you were here just for bouncing, well, you can just shut it off right now. We're not going to see much more except for maybe one use of the bounce bracelet. There you go. That is officially the end of the bouncing, I think. So, yeah, we're going to finish the level. I'm going to make myself look like a fool in the Mach speed zone. I'm going to get hit by missiles. The frame rate's going to drop to 10, maybe 5, and eventually Silver's going to chime in. There we go. Thanks, Silver. So, I made sure that I could beat this Mach speed section in one try earlier. You know, I did a nice little test run. Seemed like a good thing to do, so that I didn't clog this up with a bunch of deaths. And, of course, when the pressure's on, everything's different. Everything's much different. So, spoiler, I'm gonna die. Yeah, you don't want to jump there. Anyway, I think I may have paid a compliment to this section in the Kingdom Valley video, and I don't know if I want to completely take away that compliment, but it has some more problems that I really didn't think about. Namely, the fact that it's, well, such a mass of water that it's kind of easy to get lost. You might say it's a forced running section. You don't have any real freedom of movement. How can you get lost? Well, you end up going through this water here, and if you take a hit, you might think, wait, am I supposed to go above or below these pillars? To me, for a second, it looked like I was supposed to go above because, well, the pillar extends further below than it does above, And in theory, you think you want to go with the path of least resistance. But no, you want to go below. The path is below. Anyway, you probably already would have known that since you've watched me play this once before and die a bunch of times. So, can't tell you why I'm doing this again. I just am. Seemed like a better idea than just ending the video early. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going. Keep going. Yeah, don't worry, we're not dying this time. I figured out which way I want to go. Yep, we're just gonna keep going this way, all the way to the finish. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the purple gem. It's completely insane and a wonderful embodiment of this game. I mean, what were the developers thinking? They managed to make something fun, but if you exploit it, it's not very fun. But that's your own fault. It's your own fault for being an exploiter. And it defies logic, defies reason, and it breaks their game further. So, it's wonderful. And that was only worth a C. If you want to just shut the video off now, you can trust me just to see. See? You waited around for nothing.